Hello everyone, Pikachu is looking down on me here, congratulating me on my 4 weeks post-op. It was around about, well, it was exactly 1 month ago to the minute that I'm recording this that I remember laying in my hospital bed in quite a lot of pain. For those who haven't seen my video about this, I wasn't administered enough painkillers, so when I came to, I was in quite a bit of pain, and it probably took like 4 or 5 hours of ramping up the dosage that I got, the strength and the medication for it to finally subside. So, yeah, 4 weeks ago I was laying on my bed like, like that. Um, yes, if you have a appointment coming up to have this surgery done, I have two things to tell you. And there's nothing wrong with mentioning this because what will happen is your surgeon will come in the morning, like a few hours before your procedure, and he will talk to you and just say to him politely two things. One, I've had a few friends who've gone through this procedure and they woke up in quite a bit of pain. My pain threshold isn't fantastic. Do you mind making sure that I'm not sedated, but I'm being pumped full of meds as I wake up? Because I remember when I did my pre-op, they put my pain threshold score quite high, mainly because like I broke my neck as a teenager, I think, and they thought, well, if he can break his neck and have whiplash, and he's affected with that like a couple of times a week, like I'll wake up in agony because of my neck, then he'll be fine with this. Nah, it completely took me by surprise. So ask them politely about that. And the second thing I'll tell you, which I don't think I've mentioned at any point so far, is I spoke to my surgeon on the phone about 2 weeks before my procedure and then on the day. And I said, gas pain, gas pain, gas pain. Please do whatever you can to take out as much gas. I know you will, but please do that for me. And he just turned around and went, yeah, I know gas pain can be uncomfortable, so I'm going to get the anaesthetist to work his magic on my diaphragm. And as you would have known if you've seen like my recovery video from surgery, like I recorded it the evening of my surgery. I was having no gas pain. Like it was on the out of 10, it was probably a 2, mainly a 1. It was just annoying, constantly burping. So I know this isn't much of like a 1 month update, but I've just remembered those and I've not mentioned them in any video so far. So if you're going to go for a gastric sleeve, or actually pretty much any procedure, get the meds ready. Ideally, anesthetize the diaphragm. And if I had both of those things, I'd have just woken up post surgery and been like, I can go home. Anyway, this is my 1 month update. So my weight loss so far, I'm not going to convert it to kilograms. Should I? I probably should for continuity's sake. Oops. I was pre-op before I started my pre-op diet. I was. Oh, that calculator doesn't work properly. Stones into kg. There you go. I was 25.2 stone, which is 160 kilograms. My weight today is 137 kilograms, which is 21 stone 6. That's 4 months post-op. From surgery, I'm down about 2.5 stone. I lost quite a bit just from the pre-op diet. So yeah, in reality, I'm just going with my highest ever weight, which I pretty much was when I started my pre-op diet of 25 stone 2. So well on my way. If you can probably go back and look at some of my other videos, and I've had comments about my face looking slimmer. My body doesn't feel slimmer. It doesn't feel slimmer to you. You don't notice shit happening. However, I've recently been squeezing into jeans that are a size or two down from what I usually have. But I look at myself in the mirror and I can't see any difference. But the fact people notice is pretty awesome. I finished my soft foods last week. I've moved on to, my pureed. I'm now onto soft. And I've started to experiment. I've started to experiment with what sort of food I can take I am not going for solid foods yet. There's no steaks, lean piece of beef, nothing like that. I have just stuck to stuff that I can squish down with a spoon, or I can go through it with a fork. So like today, there wasn't many veggies in this, so I'll probably not do this constantly, but I had sweet and sour meatballs that were really squishy, so I could go through them with a knife. Mega low fat sweet and sour sauce you can get here in the UK. It's got next to nothing in it. It still tastes great. It's from Dolmio, no added sugar. And I put a little bit of rice with it. I was going to do mash, but I've never had mashed potato with mash and swede. I was going to have, but I've never had that with sweet and sour. I thought that's a bit odd to me. That all went down just fine. I ate it about an hour ago. No complications. I've been eating soup with chunky bits in it. Some of the Sainsbury's chunky soups here in the UK have loads of protein in it. It's like 20 grams for a whole serving. You can barely do half of a normal tin. But that's great. That's full of protein. And I didn't have any problem with eating little cubes, like about that big, of beef. I chewed and chewed and chewed, almost to a puree, then swallowed. Not a problem. Not a single problem. What other stuff have I tried? I've done like cottage pie, obviously potato on the top, nice and squishy like mashed potato, and mince underneath. Beef casserole, lovely. I've been eating cheese and beans. I had it as a puree. It was on my recommended list from my dietitian. So I've made some cheese and beans. They're in the freezer. I've made enough food now to last me like 2 weeks. And there's only like 5 cartons, 6 cartons. I'm finding myself at this point now, 4 weeks post-op, being able to eat a lot more than I used to. Obviously that first day you go home, you can barely do a teaspoon or 2. I think I did 2, and I just felt full. Now I can eat just over half a ramekin bowl. I don't purposely put more food in than I need to, but there have been times I've tried. I've got this ramekin bowl here, which I ate from earlier. You can see little bits of mash. I can get to I'll do halfway, and then sometimes I'll do 3/4, and just see when my body tells me to stop, because it's all about learning. It's all about how it feels internally. I think when I first had a soft meal, where I think it was the beef casserole, I did feel a little pain in my stomach, and I thought, okay. So I did like the normal half ramekin at that point, and I just slowed down. For me, it's learning to eat slower, chew longer. That was basically the issue I had. I was like, ooh, I love beef casserole. It used to be nom nom nom. Now it's a little teaspoon, not really a teaspoon, a small spoon. Dip it in a little bit, and take your time. I think I just took it too quick. But I just had that sweet and sour, as I said, which was in this ramekin bowl, but barely halfway. There was like 2 meatballs, and with some rice around it. There was some fruity bits in there. I can't remember what was put in, but it tasted amazing. I can't remember what's the fruity part that goes into sweet and sour. Can't remember, but that didn't have a lot of veg at all in it. So I'm going to be going back and having smash. Actually, I've got potato mashed with swede, which I pretty much add to everything. There's obviously some veg in there with the swede. The mash is great, and it goes with nearly everything apart from sweet and sour. I'll have to try that later. But yeah, I'm loving being off pureed food. I'm now. I go out like 2 times a week, meet friends. They eat. I don't. I make a point of eating before I go out, especially if it's if they want to go to a Chinese restaurant, I'm not gonna force them to go to a restaurant where I can eat. I'd rather just spend 20 minutes before I go out having something to eat, and meet them there, and I'm full. Like, the fact you're full, yeah, the food smells great and it looks great, but even if you could eat it, you don't want to because you are legit full. So what, like, when you, so there's a big difference between, like, if I had to go to that restaurant and I hadn't eaten, and I just knew, oh, I'd have to skip a meal because I'm celebrating a friend's birthday, and I haven't got time to cook, that would suck. But that would suck even if you had the stomach the size of a banana or a stomach the size of a football. It would suck either way. So it's all about getting the right mindset. And I go out drinking with my friends. I don't drink. I take... I get water, and then there's this Robinson's sugar-free cordial. I think this is summer fruits. You got about 10 glasses in here. Just squirt in the cordial, done. It only costs like £1. You can put it in your pocket or in your handbag. I have been trying apple juice. I know there's a tiny bit of sugar in there. My dietitian said that, like, if you do touch apple juice, which is just the stuff out of the carton, but you can have it in a pub. They cost £3. It's ridiculous, but it's just a carton you get from like Asda or wherever. You only have like the tiny, not even half pint glass, and that will last me like over an hour of sipping on that. So just to mix things up, I'll throw in 1 glass of apple juice because I still feel bad that I go to a pub, my friends drink, I sit there, and every time I go to the bar, it's just like, oh, I'll just have a water for now, please. I haven't got in my head round to the point of saying, yeah, I'm not drinking, I just like some water. Because, you know, you just assume that, like, if I was the owner of a pub and let's just say there's 50 people in the pub and 40 of them have all had bariatric surgery and they're just drinking water, you're not making any money. So I just feel I'll get over that eventually. Next week I'm really looking forward to eating out. I found a place that does a kids meal where it's like, they do skinless sausages with mash and beans, and it's like £3 or something. I'm just gonna go for that. Like, guarantee I can eat that. Skinless sausages. I've got some skinless sausages here as well. So yeah, I've got in one of the cans I made. It was just a bit of mash, some baked beans, and skinless sausages, and I can just mash them together, put them into my ramekin bowl, and I've got loads of protein. Lovely jubbly. I'm still drinking a protein shake every day. I would highly recommend everyone do that. I think that's something I'm probably going to have to do for a while, until maybe a year post-op, based on what I've been able to research. It's still hard to get in the ideal amount of proteins every day, so the protein shakes taste great. It's the Fuel 10 brand here in the UK. So I have strawberry. Tastes amazing. I've also bought protein Weetabix. I tried one. I wasn't a big fan, so I went back to normal Weetabix. That's my morning. Every morning now it's a Weetabix with quite a bit of milk in there. Warm it up in the microwave. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. I haven't found what to put on top of it. You can't do sugar, obviously. I may puree some fruit to put on top. But yes, that's around like 10 every day. I have that. Just before then, I'll have all my meds. Actually, I've just finished my meds. I have the antacids you put on your tongue. I'm done with that now. I'm done with all the injections. Everything is all done. I don't mean meds. I mean minerals, supplements. Have them in the morning. Have the antacid. I then have to wait 30 minutes to have my food. Today was my last day of antacid, which is great. Then around 1 to 2 o'clock, I'll have my first half ramekin bowl. I'll then have a protein shake, which can last me from like 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock if I'm sipping away at it, because I mainly focus on my water, which I keep in an ice cold flask. I then get to about 5, 6 o'clock. I've got all the alerts that come up on my phone. I'll have my second ramekin bowl. And then in the evening, I don't really have a snack. If I do, it'll be this jelly that's like called Hartley's. It's like 10 calories. Or I'll finish off my protein shake. I don't really have I was never a snacky person before to do with weight. I was just incredibly lazy and ate the worst food. And when I tried to diet, I always gave up, and then I just thought, sod it, I'm having my weight loss surgery. I've put it off for too long. I'm 37 now. I've been 22 plus stone for like 8 years and haven't been able to shift it. And then COVID made me very lazy and just made it even worse. But yeah, so far so good. Looking forward to going on to proper, like, real food. My mom is a fantastic chef. She's already super excited that I'm coming up to being able to eat real, proper food again in like a month's time. It basically opens the door for me to eat out. My group of friends don't really go to like Chinese restaurants and Indians and places that are really high in fat, like, you know, fast food restaurants and stuff. We all go to nice little eateries that have a wide range of selections, and I've already looked at the majority of menus where I live here in Birmingham, and I can get a meal pretty much anywhere. But yeah, it was kind of odd. I remember this before the night before I started my weight loss pre-op diet. I went and had a hell for leather like night. I went out to a pub quiz with my mates. I must have had about 6 cocktails, 4 beers. By midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, I was smashed. And what used to happen was I was so drunk, I would stop at the local pizzeria and I would buy like an extra large pizza. Probably like 12 slices. And I would eat that. Not a single problem. And then I'd go to bed. I used to do that every Tuesday. And sometimes every Wednesday, because we do 2 pub quizzes back to back. And then last night when I did the Wednesday pub quiz, it's still odd in my mind. I sit there and think, you know, like a month ago or 2 months ago, I was sat here absolutely wasted, and then I knew I was going to get a pizza. And like, that must have been like 3,000 calories right there just in the alcohol and the extra large meatball mega meat feast pizza I used to order. Good God, that's insane. I was sat at that pub yesterday drinking my apple juice thinking, I've probably eaten about 800 calories today. It's insane. But yeah, so far so good. Loving life. Getting back to normal. I still have days where I feel really tired. I think my liver's obviously working overtime at the moment to shift the weight. I get on the scales at the moment and it's probably like a pound or so a day. Brilliant. Some days it'll be a couple of pounds. I've done a lot of exercise today. I've probably done about an hour of walking. I'm going to check what the scale looks like tomorrow just so I get some idea of the risk or the reward for doing such a thing. And yeah, feeling great. I've next got a meeting with my dietitian on the 5th of February, which is the 4th of February, sorry, which is basically 3 weeks tomorrow. 3 weeks tomorrow. They will make the determination of then if I move on to solid foods. And if so, I'm back. When I say I can eat what I want, I'm obviously, the nasty stuff is out of my life forever. I don't care. Just the thought of eating like a pizza again, oh, that's just so disgusting. Oh, it's just so grim. It's like, my heart must have been like, what are you doing? Like, my arteries are getting clogged every time I went on a night out. Christ. Yeah, I'm not going back to that. But I'm looking forward to it. Basically opens the world up to me, being able to eat normal food. Can't wait. Can't wait. No regrets. As I say, the major, and it's not major. Actually, I'll touch on something. I was going to mention sleep and being tired. The first few weeks post-op, I wasn't eating enough of the pureed food. For some reason, I was eating half of what I was meant to because I misread the documentation. And I was just sat at my desk like, so tired. And it just even hurt to stand up, and I'd feel uneasy on my feet. I rectified that by actually eating enough food. But even now, I feel sluggish after I take all my minerals in the morning and supplements. I'm guessing my body will get used to that over time. It's not major, but like the first hour or so of being sat at this computer and working, I'm yawning like there's no tomorrow. And that I could have had an amazing 9-hour sleep beforehand, and I still feel shattered. I guess I'll get used to that. But another thing I will say, I've been able to go back onto my normal medication again. I was taking cocodamol for my whiplash. These effervescent ones here. I'm fine taking a couple of them a day if I need to, if I wake up feeling awkward or my neck's being cricked in the night. That's great. The other medication that I take is over-the-counter sleeping tablets. They're very low dihydramine hydrochloride, 50 milligrams. I know it's a tiny, but for me, at least for the last 3 or 4 years, one of these before like at 11 p.m. before I start really winding down, give it like an hour, and suddenly I'm mega drowsy and I'm yawning, and I then know I can just put my head on the pillow and I'm out. Gone back to doing them. I have enjoyed amazing night sleeps. I have been going to bed. I typically work like 10, half 10 to like 6 from home. Then go out of an evening, or friends come round, we play some FIFA or something. But yeah, I typically go to bed and fall asleep about 1ish and get up at like 9:30. There were definitely nights before I did the weight loss journey, in any of the weight loss journey, where I would not fall asleep until like 4 or 5 a.m. I just wouldn't be able to, for reasons I couldn't explain the reasons, no one could explain the reasons. I'm just looking through my sleep cycle here. And let me see, I mean, if I get rid of my background for a second, you will be able to see the quality of sleep. You're basically looking at the 97%. So yeah, I had 7 hours last night. 100% quality sleep the night before, 8.5 hours. 8 hours, brilliant, 94%. Go back to last week, 89%, 7.5 hours. Just over 7 hours. I had to get up early one day there. I had to get up for my dietitian's call last week. She had a call at 8 a.m, for fuck's sake. 7 hours, 47, 100%. 93%, nearly 8 hours. 8 hours, 100%. I'm not... Oh no, that was my dietitian's call. Yeah, I went to bed at like 2 a.m. and got up at 7. Something like that. Something along those lines. So 1 bad night's sleep. And like the first night I used Sleep Cycle to track my sleep, which uses my watch. Because so you can see here, according to this, did I really? I'm a wriggler. I snored quite a lot, as you can see, 3 hours, 4 minutes. But I did 770 steps in my sleep. That really contributes towards my daily goal. But I'm a wriggler, people have told me. But the snoring was really bad that day. So that was the first day I had Sleep Cycle. That was the 1st of Jan, so New Year's Day. That was like 2 weeks after my surgery. I'm just going to skim through. I got to go this way now, haven't I? Let's go down a bit. 3 hours snoring. Let me just go forward to like this week. Snoring. Really? No snoring at all that day. Oh, there's some snoring and sleep talking. Sleep talking? Let me have a listen. What did I say? Oh, that's too quiet to pick it up. But yeah, my snoring is still kind of crazy. 3 hours. But 1,400 steps. Or was that the amount of steps I took in that day? Ignore me. That's my steps before I sleep. Oh. Now that makes sense. But the cool thing, which you can't really see and it doesn't really matter to you, that there says it took me 10 minutes to fall asleep. My watch worked that out. 11 minutes. 10 minutes. 11 minutes. 10 minutes. 11. 7. 10. I wish I'd go all the way back to pre-op. Oh, I can. Oh, I haven't got many. Yeah, anyway. My point is my background going to work? There you go. My point is my sleep's getting better. And hopefully I can stop taking these sleeping tablets sometime soon. They're very low dosage. It's just enough to tip me over the edge and force me to go to bed and shut my eyes. But yeah, weight loss is good. Loving the fact I've done this, and I'd highly recommend it to you if you're contemplating it. Do it. Any questions you've got, Whack them in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one, if there is a next one.